So, well, hi there. This is the Radioactivity Day 2015. What is Radioactivity Day? Well, once in the year, the German CB radios, these German CB operators are making the so-called RRD, Radioactivity Day, and they take their CB radio and drive up to a mountain and hook up their antenna, and then they are testing how far they can transmit. And also there are some radio frequency shops where you can buy CB radio. They are also somehow into this RAD stuff, so they give out a prize. If you get the most contacts, you will earn like a new CB radio or a new antenna or something like that. And in the past few years I've sometimes taken part on this RAD, of course not as a registered user. I was rather trying how good my equipment works. And today is also another RAD session. This is RAD 2015. And the weather is pretty bad out there, and also this contact here is pretty bad, obviously. I'm using a 15 volts power supply, and this is a 12 volts regulator to power the CB radio, since I don't want to use a switch mode power supply because of interference of eventually both sides. So anyway, it's now the sun is currently shining, but there are many clouds in the sky. And so it's a pretty bad weather. It was also raining the last few hours, and I couldn't go up to a mountain, and so I attempted to hook up a CB radio at my home. And I don't have too much knowledge about antenna matching with CB radios, since this RG58 wire is pretty much giving me problems with the SWR. I mean, I can get a good SWR, but the problem is that a big amount of the RF signal then is on the antenna, and another big part of the RF then is on the shielding of the cable. The German word for that is Mantelwelle. So I was having problems with that, and I was experimenting today pretty much to get it working somehow. And I'll soon show you my antenna, but the first thing I'll show you are these, if you want to call it like that, traces on the ground. And as you can obviously tell, I've been walking inside and outside pretty often, just to walk back inside and test if the new antenna works. First thing I tried, I was connecting the antenna, one wire connected to the shield of the to the inner connector of the RG58 wire, and the other connector connected to the outside of the RG58 wire. And guess what? I could match it. I got a good SWR, like 1 to 1.1, but they were these so-called Mantelwellen again, and they were messing up my transmission. So I experimented with Torid cores to make a so-called balloon transformer, balanced-unbalanced transformer, to match it. And now I got my antenna pretty much matched, since, as you can tell, running outside, experimenting, run inside, run outside, run inside, experiment. So the SWR, when I'm transmitting, this is not matched yet. So you can see, this is my pretty expensive matcher. Here's the SWR. It's below 1.5, and it could even match it better. I know that 1.5 isn't that good, definitely not, but as I said, I can match it better. Just if the CB radio restarts, it will reset it to channel 9, and I was transmitting on channel 26 before, where are already some people talking, and I tried to contact him, and of course, guess what, it didn't work. I also made a field strength test, and compared to my other stuff with CB radio, this one has a really good field strength, so it's radiating, at least in this area where I live. It's making a really strong signal on the air. I've tested it, and yeah, it's really strong. Now let's have a look at the antenna. Therefore we will walk outside. One other thing is, this matcher matches the antenna, as you can tell, so it's connected with the CB radio. And now let's walk outside. So here is my antenna. This is obviously the ground wire. It's not very long though. And here's my balanced-unbalanced transformer, some wire wound around a T52 transformer turret. And here's my antenna. This tube is 2 meters or 6 feet long. Here is the loading coil for the antenna, and here is, as you can see, the telescopic antenna. It's 1 meter or 3 feet long. So yeah, definitely not a good antenna for CB radio. So you can see it's RG58 wire, and it's going to the matcher. And yes, yeah, it's working. It's I get a good VWSVR. And yeah, what shall I say? The problem is There's already one station broadcasting on channel 26. I think this is the content channel. And if I tune into 26, which I'll do right now, you can hear there is something on channel 26. There's a weak signal coming in, but I've taken my mobile CB radio and I've walked outside with it, and I get a very clear and strong signal. So yeah, pretty much work for nothing. I doubt that I will reach anybody on today's RID 2015. And yeah, well, the problem is the weather. Sun now is pretty much gone behind the clouds again. If I look outside, I see it. Clouds are moving very fast, and I don't want to go on the mountain and get into some rain. Yeah, but I also on the other side wanted to take part on the RID 2015, at least with my equipment, and the position where on I'm transmitting is on one side good because it's kind of upside a hill, but on the other side I'm surrounded by mountains, so it doesn't matter in which direction I want to broadcast, I'm surrounded by mountains. So from where I am currently, I doubt I will get any contact today, except there's the one person driving on the so-called, how was it called? I just don't remember it right now, but there's a mountain close to here. And once I've had a contact to a person who drove there, and if this guy is driving on the mountain again, I will sure contact him with the CB radio again. But what's the point? I mean, he's so close, I can contact him like with this CB radio, even if the antenna isn't pulled out or something. You don't know how far is away, maybe 2 miles or so. So he's really close to here. So anyway, that's the RID Radioactivity Day 2015, and yeah, that's a cool event in Germany. CB radio operators are taking their CB radio, walk on top of a mountain, and then do some experiments. How far will it transmit? How good does it work? And stuff like that. And back in the earlier years, I've had many contacts on this RID with not this specific radio, but with this antenna here. I was able to transmit 100 kilometers. So this is pretty much more than 50 miles. But I was on top of a mountain. So anyway, that's my setup for the RID Radioactivity Day 2015. Okay, best regards, Stefan.